Well, greetings viewers and voyeurs who have got that funk, and this is a video response to Jacqueline Glenn and her recent video called The Atheist Ultimatum. How you doing, Jacqueline? I subscribed to your channel about a month or so ago, and I have to say I'm very impressed with your content. To my subscribers, if you've never seen any of Jacqueline's videos, I strongly recommend checking out her channel and even subscribing. She's thoughtful and thought-provoking, and she's got a good sense of humor. And if you're interested in conversation about atheism or religion's effects on society, that kind of thing, yeah, she's definitely a channel that you want to be subscribed to. Okay, hi Jacqueline, I'm Paul, and I wanted to mention basically just one thing that you said in your video. I don't disagree with anything of the main thrust of your video whatsoever, but there's one thing that you said in the video which I think merits a bit of discussion. In your video, you said that the only thing you're intolerant of is intolerance. And Jacqueline, while I absolutely understand where you're coming from with that, and I think the statement is valid in and of itself, I think it's a phrase that we really ought to abandon if we are to win hearts and minds on the other side, and here's why. I've heard people on the other side of the argument, and by the other side of the argument, I mean social conservatives and religious zealots. I've heard such people, like say the Atheist Antidote or Jesus Freak 777, say that to claim you're intolerant of intolerance is self-contradictory, that it's a hypocritical thing to say. I think that opinion is facile, but it's definitely out there, and I think, unfortunately, to a certain mindset, that kind of thing makes sense. So I think we really ought to abandon the phrase, I'm intolerant of intolerance, for that reason. Instead, we need to focus on where the fight really is. And the fight is against bigotry, isn't it? It's against forms of arbitrary discrimination against people based on their ethnicity or their lifestyle or their beliefs. And that's where the fight really is. Now, I personally am of the opinion that there's a big difference between tolerating something and accepting something. I will tolerate bigots in the sense that they exist. I know they exist, and I have to share this world with them. I will tolerate them saying bigoted things because that way I can identify them as bigots. I can identify them as people that I choose not to associate with on a close level. So I think it's important, because free speech is important, that we allow these people to speak their mind freely and expose themselves for who and what they are. So we have to tolerate it. But what we don't have to do is accept it. When someone makes racist comments or homophobic comments in my presence, I'm going to call them on it. I'm going to tolerate them as a person. I'm going to put up with the fact that they've said what they said, but I'm not going to let it go unchallenged. I'm not going to accept it as valid. And I'm going to do my best, insofar as it's possible, to either change their mind, or if not change their mind, at least open their mind a little bit so that change might be possible a little bit down the road for them somewhere. That's my 2 cents. There's a definite difference between tolerance and acceptance. Acceptance is never going to happen. We shouldn't accept views that we disagree with strongly. But we have to tolerate them because people will have them. And we all have to share this planet together, for better or for worse. So we want to change hearts and minds. We want to make it so that we don't have to tolerate people. We want to be able to accept one another. But where acceptance isn't possible, tolerance is absolutely necessary. That's my 2 cents. I want to thank everybody for watching this video, and until next time, may all your ups and downs be ups.